Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. It is I, Badger, back for the 11th straight Grand Finals. We are here for Royal Andy taking on the Funny Zone. I have some very special guests with me tonight. They're with me for probably 9 of those 11 different Grand Finals. It is the one-time Lads finalist, the multi-time Lads Plus winner, former expert of many social media affairs, former semi-professional player. It's logical, Dota 2. How are you this fine evening?
I'm doing good. You speedrun that intro, goddamn. Got to get back on track.
And of course, also joining us tonight, another longtime heavyweight of the North American Dota scene, professional manager, former professional commentator, a man of many talents, including milk aficionado and anime expert. It is Neff Sensei. How are you this fine evening?
I'm doing incredible. With you two here, I'm going to look great. Let me tell you that, Badger. Let me tell you that. We have an actual Dota expert on the panel. I know Badger has been mostly playing RuneScape. Dog game, absolutely awful. But now we get to watch some real video games, Badger.
Absolutely, and I'm excited for it. You know, this is one of those things where we're hoping to get this series during the winners bracket, but we didn't get lucky with that one. You know, it's one of those, it's supposed to be winners bracket semis, but the Funny Zone lost in round one winners to a massive upset loss. And they have since been on an absolute tear in the losers bracket. And of course, Royal Andy, they have been skating on through the winners bracket, smacking down everybody from the other group, smacking down teams from their own group. And they're now sitting here, one series away from finishing the Cinderella run.
Well, let me tell you, I actually did a little bit of research before this game. Spoke to the
Wow.
teams. Things are not looking good for Royal Andy. All right, messaged some notable people on each team. Andy himself from Royal Andy. Asked him how he was feeling about the big game tonight, and he said, "What? What are you talking about? Loser's mentality." Man was not prepared for the interview. Man was not didn't even know that he was playing tonight. Meanwhile, Ultra Gunner, the GOAT, one of the greatest Canadian Dota players to ever do it, did his pregame almost home, said he's feeling great. The boys are feeling good. They're pumped. They're happy to be here. And he's looking small.
It's one of those things where perhaps there's a little bit of issue with Royal Andy. Of course, they've been rocking the same 5-man lineup all season, but unfortunately, Fox is out of the country. She cannot play tonight, so they have a stand-in. They're messing with the formula that has won them so many games. And I know, me personally, I've been rating Fox very highly this season, so to see her not in the player booth tonight is quite the shame.
We have booths.
Yeah, they have booths. We don't. We're just stuck at home,
Yeah.
but
There aren't player
Uh-uh.
cams though, but this is a LAN event for the finals. Many
Oh,
don't
okay.
know that, yeah.
I hope that they're soundproof. We wouldn't want a Lima Major situation where you can hear the crowd shouting every time a smoke pop is. We're a little bit more professional than that in League of Lads. Everybody, all right?
that's why we
We
have that's
wouldn't
why we
be
have no
pounding.
crowds though. It's them in two booths and like a janitor between the two booths and nothing else. Like that's why we're not there because we couldn't soundproof the booths. So we just have non-soundproof booths that can yell at each other over the event hall.
A summit situation. It's just a couple of guys in bedrooms. And
Absolutely,
Eosin in the back on his smartphone being the admin.
as one does.
Shout out to my man, the big deal, Eosin. Shame that he couldn't be here today. We couldn't afford a observer. We have Badger instead.
Yeah, you know, the Team Zephyr alumnus himself, a little too expensive for League of Lads, but we do have a draft on our hands. Logical. Break down what we see so far, picks and bans wise.
Yeah, sure. I think, the like legal lads meta a little bit different from like the top professional meta, but both of these teams have kind of been running with what they've been doing this entire season. I myself, I'll say I'm a little bit biased. I've been helping Funny Zone a lot. I have a lot of friends on this team. I'm playing Lads Plus with enough. I've known Ultra Gunner for a long time, so their draft isn't too surprising to me. But and some I think points of interest is Shadow even made it through the pool. This hero is just very not fun to play against at all points. This season has gone through 3 different patches. Really, there's like 2 small patches and then 1 big patch, and Shadow Demon has been good through all of them. So Funny Zone takes that with the first pick. I think
Mhm.
if anything, the only like really interesting thing is probably this Night Stalker on 9 pick, and it's just a hero that Royal Andy likes a lot. They play it on offlane and on mid, and both their players like it a lot. I think this hero is also just really underrated in general. The vision aspect of this hero is really nice and makes the fights really easy. So I think both these drafts look pretty good so far.
I will say that the opening for Royal Andy is incredible for like early aggression and taking towers. One of the like best things about the Night Stalker ultimate, obviously, is like the 1800 unobstructed vision. Whenever you're trying to push buildings early in the game before you go high ground, it's just incredible for that. Along with like the amount of tower damage you can do with the Pugna, so diving and taking towers is going to be easy for Royal Andy. Unfortunately, you have like decent save in the form of Shadow Demon, and Beastmaster and Ogre Magi are like kind of tanky and difficult to get through. So I think they'll do an okay job defending and turning fights alongside with the save from Shadow Demon. But really scary early aggression, like tower taking potential here from Royal Andy with the picks that we see already.
That's what this team has been all season. It's been a lot of, up tempo play as 4. Sometimes even play as 4.5. You take these early towers. You really run with Breezy R, who is the most aggressive early game player probably in Lad's history. You have Reeves, a very aggressive player. Like, in that regard, this
I
team is
thought
very,
Hull
very
City
ready.
was the most aggressive player in Lad's history.
Hull City's up there, top 2, top 3 perhaps. But Breezy R, it is a man who will gank from mid, minute 4 every other game. Like, he's an absolute madman. Who could be the
Look,
carry nature's prophet as well. This is a very interesting pick
Yeah.
from Royal Andy.
Yeah, I mean, they do a lot of tower damage. I think their actual fight seems like very weak, though. I'm a little bit concerned. I think they might just get run over by Funny Zone. I think there's a lot of reliance on them being really strong out of the lanes. And I mean, they still have like a carry and a mid hero left, and like even still, like this Beastmaster, I feel like he's gonna be really tanky. His lane shouldn't go that bad. It's kind of hard to stomp lanes with Nature's Prophet. And then, I mean, they don't have any stuns, also notably unrated. So I'm interested to see how they're gonna patch this draft up with the last pick. Will probably be Reed's hero if I was gonna guess, but you never know really how these guys are gonna align their heroes. Okay, I mean, with the Razor pick, I assume they're gonna send the Night Stalker offlane. But there might be an interesting angle with sending the Night Stalker mid and taking the Night Rain, I think it's called, the facet where it starts nighttime.
Mhm.
Maybe with the extra move speed, you can just run away from Razor in a lane. It's not too bad. And I mean, Night Stalker with that facet, the first 5 minutes is so strong that you can probably 50-50 the Razor lane pretty easy.
I'm not a huge fan of that talent. It does make like day shorter, night longer as well. On top of
Yeah,
that thing, but when you hit like you're level 5 and have your ultimate, all of a sudden you get this huge power spike just as like the laning phase hits this like timing where you can all of a sudden rotate. You don't have night, which kind of sucks, but it makes like difficult lanes a lot more playable for Night Stalker. That is true.
yeah, I
I
agree.
think
I think that.
most
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I think most people are going Night Rain, but when I'm playing Night Stalker, prefer to go the other talent just because I'm a boomer.
Yeah, I think the other one's really underrated. Also, it gives the key like a DOT. I think people should experiment more with it. But similar to as what you said, I have not really seen many people experiment with it.
Mhm. Just Dota boomer shit for me. I am used to playing Night Stalker in a very specific way, and so I haven't really adapted whenever I play him. But other than like just using it as this, amazing hero at ganking and taking early towers, yeah, I think of these incredibly busted, underrated for that. Also, he's like one of the highest damage heroes without like any items. Just his like talents alone when he uses Dark Ascension is fucking insane.
Here's a
Uh,
hero who, throughout the entire game, will be hard to brawl. High base damage, high armor, has that vision advantage for a lot of the game. So in that regards, he is a very ideal brawling hero, and he still could go either mid or offlane. We don't even know yet.
yeah. I mean, it is unfortunate that Razor kind of plays pretty well into him. But if it is nighttime, the very like Logical was saying, you can kind of just get away from that static link. But zoning the Night Stalker from the fight as he's trying to enter for that period of the game where he feels like he's hit his first power spike, kind of sucks for the Radiant. But yeah, it's a very oppressive draft from the Dire already, so we'll see how they round it out. But like any stuns or good hero to fight into what Royal Andy has so far, and I think just completely shuts down their game plan. You only see 4 heroes, and I already think that they're outdrafted.
Yeah,
Was Ultra Gunner correct with what he said? I'm thinking so. Logical.
it could be. I'll say I think this is in Funny Zone's prep. I'm not gonna reveal any of that shit, but I was doing some like practice drafts with them, and these like the first 3 heroes I didn't know anything about Nature's Prophet, but the first 3 heroes was literally like 3 of the heroes I picked when I was like pretending to be them. This was like the
It's just too
literally
easy.
this is like literally like bar for bar the exact 3 heroes. So they
To
are
be
probably not too uncomfortable. Sorry.
Logical is playing these guys like a fucking fiddle. incredible.
I think, to be fair, this team has been very predictable in their drafts for much of the season, where they've been picking the same
Really?
things literally all the time, same sort of style of Dota, same heroes, and the teams know what they're gonna play. You know that they know Breezeout's gonna play Earth Spirit Primal Beast. You know you're gonna see this Will hero a lot. You're gonna see Rubric a lot, and yet teams just kept losing to it. So maybe Funny Zone are just built different. They have again some Lads champion players on there, the legendary Ultra Gunner as well, but Royal Andy, I think, have drafted into quote unquote losing drafts before and still won.
I don't like this Vector pick very much, but I do think that it makes some sense with their lineup. They have like Beastmaster Roar, which can be set up for kills, and this hero has a like pretty interesting match in the Night Stalker. I'll talk about this a little bit more during the game, but they have some shared vision heroes, which is like a concept that I don't think many people think about, but it's pretty strong versus Night Stalker. I'm a little bit concerned just about the lane because they have. I mean, Ogre's pretty strong in lane, but the Ogre Spectre lane is pretty so-so, especially
Mhm.
against a counter pick. I would have preferred to see them just like pick a strong ranged hero, like even something like Drow. You might think it's bad versus the Night Stalker, but I think the early lane, especially with Ogre, would have just made it overall better here. They banned the Gyrocopter. I was thinking that's like one hero that would work really well, but that was a good ban by Andy.
See, I'm not
Royal Andy.
crazy about the Drow Ranger just because it's very easy for the Night Stalker plus Nature's Prophet to get on top of it, plus whatever they pick last. So something that can jump you instead, I don't hate. It also gives them, it kind of secures their late game. Spectre is pretty impressive, although lately it's more so used as like, hey, I jump in, I Orchid Manta on top of your support, and I fucking kill them if I see them anywhere by themselves on the map right now.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay, so
Uh,
this is
that
mid
is
end
the
game.
opposite of what I would expect to see with the draft, but I feel like they're really hoping on like snowballing out of the lanes. They're going to completely fall apart if they don't get that. I don't like this logical. I don't like this one bit.
Yeah, same. I think it's like Slark versus Spectre is kind of a weird matchup these days. I don't even know if it's like super Slark favored. You can dispel the what's that spell called? Spectral Dagger now, which is pretty good. But you have to hit
It's
into this
probably
guy's like
slow.
Radiance, and sometimes they'll go Blade Mail, so you can miss. I think it's kind of weird. I agree. I don't like Slark as a hero very much. I mean, I was also kind of on the fence about Spectre, but I think the Funny Zones draft's a lot. Yeah, I'd say it's a lot better this game. I think.
Right. Are
Also,
you saying that
notably,
because you came up with a lot of the Funny Zones draft and
yeah.
predicted everything Royal Andy would do, and you
No, I also told them specifically don't pick Spectre. I think like Spectre is like very bait. I'll say I said don't pick Spectre. Like I went out of my way to say that, but I think one thing that's really important is that these heroes like Razor and Beastmaster are gonna get BKB like first, second, like major item,
somebody
and Royal
clip
Andy
that if they lose. By the way,
has no stuns. Like their stun is terrorize. They have like void, like they don't have real stuns. So I think that's Funny Zone doesn't have the best stuns either, but at least they have Roar, where you can like actually pretty decisively kill someone, especially against the limited save of Andy. They have like a decrep, but it's doesn't really help that much, especially later on in the game.
yeah. The decrep's not going to be an amazing save against things like demonic purge as well. Like you're just kind of
Yeah,
boned.
true, for sure.
On that note, if you are just joining us, welcome to game number 1 of the Season 16 League of Lads Grand Finals. We have a best of 5 on our hands. Royal Andy playing the Radiant side, Funny Zone, the Dire side, Neff and Logical joining me. There's one thing I'll point out, though, before the action begins. There's a poll in the Lads Discord of who wins the finals. 27 votes, i.e. 64% of the votes went for Funny Zone. 15 votes, only 36% chose Royal Andy. So the people believe almost 2-1 that Funny Zone will win. You two agree as well that they've won this game 1 draft. Well, let's see what happens this game number 1.
Yep, and
Yeah.
that's right. You can text either
Yeah.
Royal Andy or Funny Zone to 2727 in order to cast your vote. Your
Yeah.
votes will matter in who becomes the winner of this game, by the way, everybody.
Yeah. You can also predict every game, and if you get every single game right, then Badger will personally fly you out for the next final.
So if we have it in our budget, we haven't blown it yet, then absolutely we'll have to do that.
Badger says that he's absolutely doing it.
Yeah, that's what I heard also.
Yeah.
This is okay, I mean this level 0 rune stuff pretty okay, it's like extremely 50-50. No one even has to TP or anything. both the teams are playing it pretty safe.
Oh, by the way, there are a number of players. We will be calling them by something other than their actual display name for those who are familiar with lads. First off, the Sark player, Froggy Hugh Demon Dog, that is Andy Bendy. Baboon will occasionally be calling Jay Curdo. That is actually a player called Sick Nasty. That is not Fox, for those who know your Fox Dota 2. And then top lane, we'll occasionally call him Choppa Reed as well, so hopefully that will cover it. And also, I guess Aurora is also Big Dave sometimes, so hopefully that covers all the nickname issues for this series.
Yeah. We haven't talked about the facets very much, but I think there's some pretty interesting things to bring up. First of all, it's daytime, so he did take the facet we were talking about. He took the Blinding Void, which will make it
a fellow boomer.
Yeah, I think it's nice, kind of as you're talking about, to have that like early timing with the first night. Like it can be hard to pressure someone from literally minute 0, but against the Spectre, when it hits 5 minutes, like the Spectre is not going to be able to lane. Which could be really bad for this hero, especially if he's like level 4.
I do agree with you there. And again, that's one of the things that I think that this makes the other facet a little bit weaker. Just the fact like you're level 1, you're level 2, where you put in your first points in like Void, Crippling Fear, you don't really have Hunter of the Night where your hero really shines. And you can't punish like the enemy support for rotating. You can't just jump on the carry and do that sort of thing. Much easier to like contest Bounding Rune, or sorry, Wisdom Runes. That sort of thing.
We do a First Blood top lane. Keshi and Reed combine for the kill up there. I guess it's one of the things, Spectre being as weak of a laner as she is early on, you don't necessarily need to be nighttime to still win that lane on Night Stalker.
Yeah. This is like, I mean, especially at this point of the lane where the Ogre has no skill points, it's like, probably you like couldn't handpick a weaker lane right now.
Actually, you might be right. I'm thinking as hard as I can, but it's hard to come up with a worse lane than that.
There's no other hero that has 0 skill points at level 1 other than this guy with learning curves. So
yeah,
you don't have an ability.
It's the sub with 0 skill points on Spectre. It's pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
I mean, at least he's got good base stats, but other than that, yeah.
Maybe this build on Ogre Magi, then going Earthshaker and getting Aftershock level 1.
I feel like that's purposely griefing, though. I mean, at that point, you're going out of your way to be bad. It's like going Lena with E level 1. There's no argument. This is bad.
I mean, Coach Logical here watched them pick Spectre, so to him it felt like they went out of their way to be bad.
Yeah, they're kind of giving up the lane a little bit, which I don't like for some like extra mid-game ideas. I'm not a fan of it, but it's not impossible for it to work. So we'll see. Another interesting facet I want to bring up is Breezy R. He took this facet that we've never seen before. I didn't even know what the name of it. Soothing Saplings. It's he doesn't have the big tree. He has a lot of little ones, and he can heal his towers with Sprout.
I think it's easier to push towers by yourself with all the little ones, because the big ones just die in like 2 or 3 tower shots. And they don't get any damage. If you get like a bunch of them alongside a creep wave where you tank the tower yourself, you can put a lot of pressure on them, but it's very easy just to TP to a lane and start back throwing your tower by yourself alongside this facet. But it's pretty unpopular these days.
Yeah, I think that's kind of true. Also, one big problem is the little trees don't have the damage type. I think they have like the piercing damage type, or no, piercing would be broken. I think they have like creep damage type or something like that. They don't have the same one as the catapults.
Runty. Is that the one?
Yeah. You're talking about for the trans. Yeah, I think they have Runty, something like that. And so I agree they don't die to the tower because they don't have the same armor type that the big one does. But
they're also not chunking you for like 90 damage a hit.
Yeah, you won't be able to actually like wipe them and then go kill their building. One interesting thing though that I have thought about with this facet is like once you get to 25, assuming he takes Strand HP, Breezy R, you never know what he's gonna do really. But if he does take the 3x Strand HP and damage talent, you can spawn a lot of the treants. And then that makes it so you do a lot of damage with your innate later on. So that could be something to watch out for. I think you can even do more damage than the big tree. Because the big tree like multiplies it by 3. But then I think it multiplies it by like 5. But you can just like have more than 5. Oh,
Big brawl bottom lane. Shadow Demon is dead. Meanwhile, mid lane, Breezy R gets a kill top lane. Back to bottom lane once again. It's diving the Pug. The Pug ends up going back to the top lane once again. They're still diving, but Aurora is playing Ogre Magi. So it's 3 kills across the map. 2 for Royal Andy, 1 for Funny Zone. It's always a fun part when it's in multiple different lanes at once. It's always fun.
Yeah, I mean,
was just watching the top.
Yeah, I was also. This looks so despair also. The Spectre is level 3 and it's nighttime, and he has to worry about Nature's Prophet TP. I don't know how he's gonna escape. He'll be blessed to be like 3K net worth at minute 10, I feel like.
Double braces on the Night Stalker. I'm pretty sure he can just die of the tower without a care in the world right now.
Now, I
Yeah.
got the answer to your question. Where does he go? He goes to the grave a lot. He just dies a couple times.
Yeah, that's certainly unideal, though.
I would agree, but it's still an answer to your question.
Yeah. I mean, you can go first.
I imagine that you're just gonna clip the section of this stream where you say, "Man, I told them not to go Spectre," then show this to them when you're like between games, talking about the strategy.
No, I'm a good coach. I want them to win.
I thought you just wanted to be right. Being right feels almost as good as winning.
Yeah, I was already right though. I got most of their picks.
Yeah,
I think Breezy is TPing.
Yeah, he's dead again on the Spectre. They'll move to Ultra Gunner, or not Ultra Gunner, Aurora, I should say. I read the sponsor tag on accident there, but they'll end up running down Noga Magi. Has 2 kills once again, and Royal Andy, much as they have all season to play up tempo and bring down 2 more.
Yeah. Something that I've talked about in a couple other casts this season is this idea that when you're on carry, there's like 2 modes you can be in. Like sometimes you'll be really farmed out of the lane, you'll be really strong, and you can actually like have a lot of impact in the game and join the fights. And then sometimes your lane can just go really bad. I mean, Dota's a volatile game, so sometimes like whatever happens, maybe you get a bad lane or maybe you just play bad, and you can be really poor. And when that happens, generally the best thing you can do is to just like farm and make sure you don't die anymore, because dying anymore will like really slow the progress of your team. And so you kind of just want to like farm and eventually win the game. Like it'll probably be way later than you want, but you just want to farm and not die, and so you can win like eventually. Maybe it's like minute 35 or something. I think there's war going on bottom.
Yeah, right now both steps are very low. Pugna has died. Breezy will keep the kill on Shadow Demon. Now it's 3, running at enough. Beastmaster. He's playing Beastmaster, but unfortunately Beastmaster cannot survive that one. Nearly kills Slark for his efforts, but it's a 2-for-1 trade once again.
Yeah, all 3 cores in the bottom lane for Radiant. They're playing really quick.
Yeah, which it's not ideal. Spectre gets to go farm elsewhere on the map. The Razor's uncontested mid, but with how much you're shutting down the Beastmaster, it's decent. I was going to say one of the benefits of Spectre, even though the lane doesn't go your way, you do have the ability to just like shadow step in, last hit a kill, and kind of like bounce back with a huge like rubber band net worth swing. But the problem was also created by Spectre. Ideally, you don't find yourself so fucking poor in the first place. So you do have solutions to the problem, but you did create the problem on your own.
Yeah,
when you are playing Spectre, this hero is notorious for not winning the laning phase a lot of the time.
It's not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah, agreed.
But you're not in a great position right now. And yeah, you can bounce back with Shadow Step, but ideally you don't find yourself in that position in the first place. Hopefully, alongside Lefty on this Razor, they can kind of bounce back on the Spectre with a Shadow Step in on something good.
Yeah, I think the early game is like pretty toast on Dire, unless Radiant super overextends, which is a possibility. Then I think it'll be really hard for them to like get back into this early game and take a lead. But the like Beastmaster mid game could still be really strong. He took the Wild Hunt passive. We didn't talk much about it, but he'll have this like strong summons timing, which is pretty strong versus the Radiant heroes.
And he goes in bottom lane. He's got no ulti. He's very, very careful with Slark right now. I thought they would kill him there.
No. I mean, they're kind of weak also. These heroes on Dire, like, I mean, aside from the whole Spectre ordeal, like Beastmaster, Ogre, SD, these aren't necessarily kill heroes early in the game. Beastmaster can do some killing once he's 6 and like has a creep. Or if he has like a lot of levels of axes and he's doing the axe kind of thing, but in this current situation, I mean, yeah.
He's got his helm on. He's gonna be able to grab one of these creeps from here. Use the Centaur. So we can turn this into something and just like roar Centaur Stomp.
Carry on, carry action! It's Andy versus Ultra Gunner. Ultra Gunner, he's juking, but he's still dead! Huge gank from Andy Bendy through the Twin Gate. It's a dead Spectre once again for the 3rd time this game. He's 0, 3, and 0.
Yeah, this feels pretty bad if you can't punish this.
This game,
good play bottom lane. The W just in time by Keshi. He's still being run at by the Beastmaster, but with the roar somewhat wasted. Never mind, in comes Razor. He's hasted, he's fast. There are TPs on the way to terrorize. Hits one, in comes Pugna. He's now hasted, fleeing away, now running back forward. He's being blocked by the creeps, has no face boots. Reed now stands on the Night Stalker. Razor still running around. Keshi will go down, but it'll be a counter kill. They kill the mid Razor. Now they run at enough. Enough has Centaur. Conquer ready to stun. He'll micro it. Banishment comes in aggressively from the SD to keep the Night Stalker in place, but now they're still running the Beastmaster. Beastmaster's half HP. Meanwhile, the summons him enough, bring down Sick Nasty. In comes Andy Bunny from the north side. Right, the Beastmaster still in that tower. Breezy RTPs in. They bring down the Beastmaster. It's once again chaos. Slark nearly dies. He'll ulti just in time. He's now trapped by his own teammate, but he still lives.
Yeah, and that's pretty tough. They were able to get some kills on Dire, but net, it's not very good. They lose 2 cores, they get 2 subs. Spectre also not level 6 yet, so he couldn't win that.
Mid lane, the 1v2 trades 1 for 1. What a player.
That's pretty good for Dire though. Like
Yeah.
that's like that's an impressive kill, but like killing the ogre does not matter. And he gets some money, that's like nice if he's trying to scale in this game. But beating the Razor or solo kills kind of
Yeah, especially considering you could like somewhat shut down the Razor in his first rotation down in bottom lane.
yeah.
So you give him a window back into this game. Ultra Gunner's finally hit level 6. It would have been great if he had it, you know, when all those dives were happening down in the bottom lane. But, you know, what can you do? you played in the learning curve, Spectre lane.
Well, speaking of Razor, he's being gone on mid lane. The Sprout, I think, technically missed there from Breezy R, but he's still dead anyways. The Phylactery Night Stalker has too much damage, and now we're seeing Ping's bottom lane now be a dead 2-1 tower.
Yeah.
That's good. Honestly, as long as they don't lose their mid tower, and I don't think that they will. It is going to be back up pretty quickly, so they get a little bit more map control. They're going to smoke and go into the mid lane, and this does give Spectre the opportunity to potentially shadow step in as they jump it. I think Breezy just like dies here.
You think
Actually,
he'll be
I'm
right
certain
about that
Breezy
one.
dies here.
Seems extremely likely. Walk up, slowly, roar against the Furion. He's being TP'd on by the Razor. That's an incredibly dead Breezy R Furion. They'll run at Pugna. He might also live. And he will also live. But top lane, they're running Ultra Gunner once again. Andy Bendy gets duped around in the trees. Reed will ascend. Kurgo backs up his carry. But it's once again a dead Ultra Gunner. He's now 0-4 by my count. And we're headed towards the SD. Meanwhile, mid lane, Pugna attack the top lane once again. It'll be a dead Shadow Demon. That's a 2-for-2 trade. I think Dire technically win as they have killed 2 towers. But it's still very chaotic right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the getting NP kill is pretty nice, and the Spectre dying again is also like pretty bad, but it actually doesn't matter that much at this point. There's like what's the concept? The diminishing returns. The point of diminishing returns. I think Radiant has kind of hit that for killing Ultra Gunner. Like at this point, killing him doesn't really gonna. It's not really gonna change that much. Keshi is okay. He can TP.
I mean, from a logical perspective, no pun intended, you are correct, logical, but
Yeah.
from a morale standpoint, from a human perspective, if you're a carry playing Spectre, you're 0-4, every kill you have puts you deeper into the Shadow Realm. At a certain point...
Ultra Gunner is built out of sterner stuff than that. That's my point.
No, I think it's the other way around. I think if Ultra Gunner has like a bad game, then it won't matter anyways. Like he'll be kind of sad if he's 0-2 or if he's 0-7. I don't think it really changes that much. Because like Ultra also knows that his teammates are good. He's like relied on enough. He's like he's like counted very highly, I'd say, by like Led's community, admins, like rest of the players. He knows enough, like carries a lot of games, has a really high impact. So he's like pretty confident in his team. Maybe not in this game because it was looking really bleak, but like in general, he knows if he has a bad game, he's pretty chilly. He can get carried by lefty or enough.
Well, that's what's gonna have to happen for like the next 10-15 minutes of this game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that they managed to take the tier 1 bottom tower and the tier 1 mid tower on from Funny Zone. They took it from God, I keep reading the names of these fucking teams.
Royal Andy.
Royal Andy. And if only they didn't change it every season.
You know, the funny part is they actually already changed it mid-season.
What was it at the start?
It was Twink Good Hunting, just to make Buffles mad. And Buffles complained to the admins, like, please make them change their name. We made them change their name, so now they're Royal Andy.
Yeah. Every party needs a pooper, am I right, Logical?
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
That's my job.
But I'm glad that they took those 2 towers because it really limits their ability to react to different things that Funny Zone are trying to do.
Dyer's kind of
Because that was
stabilized this game. Also, sorry, I
Mhm.
didn't mean to cut you off, but Radiant was like 5k ahead at minute 9 or something insane like this, but now it's 2k at 14. Radiant is kind of having trouble breaking some buildings and like really applying pressure and like making the Spectre leave. They have like some strong tempo heroes, but I think they're hitting a little bit of a point where it's a bit difficult. They have to like be a little bit more methodical about it.
I really agree with what you were saying. I think they spent too much time up in the top lane trying to hunt down Ultra Gunner instead of like putting pressure on like the rest of the tier 1 towers.
Radiant have
It is
smoked the Dire Tri-Camp. They'll get some kills, surely. At least they'll get the Ogre Magi kill. Not that it matters all that much, but it is +1 agility. Surely. And there it is.
Aw. You try.
We'll go for
Nice
one more.
move.
They're going to dive
Thank
the
you.
tower for the Shadow Demon as well. Reed has ascended, looking for even more stragglers, so it's both subs down. But again, you only lose the subs. We also get the Dagon reveal from Breezyar, which is the least surprising item of all time, but it's an item nonetheless.
I think
Yeah.
they just backdoor this tower. They know what's good for them here.
Yeah, I mean they don't even need to. I don't think Dyer can really look to like, fight them, especially during the NSLT.
Yep.
I like what he's doing with this NSLT though. Reed is like looking for some other heroes. That guy has a blade mail, a bit tough. Maybe he can mess with him.
We'll try anyways. Breezyar's TP'd
Oh
in.
yeah,
Ultra, his blade mail will end, and now his life will end. Make it now 0 and 5 for the Canadian carry extraordinaire, now once again in the grave.
yeah, that's smart. I don't know how I forgot about NP. He he silenced instantly, so he couldn't get the Q, and then he just sits on him and waits a little bit. Doesn't cast the Q also, so he can get the instant TP out. Really well played by Reed.
There's a lot of burst damage there. The Sprout being like an instant nuke now as well for some reason. They just keep giving it more stuff.
That was a nerf, to be fair.
Bottom lane, we're fighting once again. TP in from Marisi are enough, has been paviced by Kurdo. And he's still barely alive thanks to the disruption. Can they kill him? Finally, maybe. No, they turn it around. Enough finally dies, but in come counter kills. 1 dead, 2 dead, 3 dead. Huge turnaround by Funny Zone, turned it into a 3-for-1 rout in the bottom lane.
Yeah,
That's
really good for Dyer.
pretty unfortunate that the Pugna maxing out Nether Ward wasn't there for the beginning of that fight.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, sick turn. Ultra Gunner managed to get in there and do a lot of damage. And I think this like the biggest thing is these turns for him ends up being like a 2,500 net worth swing in the way of Funny Zone for that one. And Ultra Gunner is going to be the one who's like most happy about that. Gets so much EXP and gold off of these engagements as long as he's participating.
Yeah.
Rubber band effect like we were talking about, and as you said, like kind of diminishing returns. If you shut him down like any harder than he was at like beginning of the laning phase, he's just gonna bounce back that much harder from one good team fight.
So you're saying we need to revert Dota to 6.81 and remove the rubber band effect? I agree, Neff. Thank you.
Yep. Yes. Bring it back.
Link in by Reed. Andy Bandy backs him up. Breezyar TP's in. Making 6 deaths for Ultra Gunner, though he is on the board this time thanks to that bottom lane team fight earlier. In comes Revenge, perhaps. Enough leads the way. Breezyar's TP will get canceled in time. He's been yelled at by the Beastmaster and brought down. It's now a 1-for-1 trade. Lefty runs in for more, but I believe the fight's now over.
Yeah. See, the weird thing about all these like kills that they're taking is I look at the Radiant draft and I say, okay, you want to like push towers. You've Night Stalker all for great vision, like the ability to engage around
They're
them.
going in for Lefty.
Overtime.
He's just dead.
Yeah.
You're saying, Neff.
Yeah, this goes back to my point. The Razor death will tie into this one, but like, they go for these kills on the Spectre and the Razor, but they're happening so far away from any objectives. They need to like push a lane to then commit on these heroes and like take the fight there. Instead, they go for these kills on Spectre and Razor, and then they can't turn it into anything. So it's like, yeah, you get the super sick kill onto one of these heroes, but it doesn't give you any more control of the map or control of the game. Like all the lanes are like kind of pushed in right now, and they get kill off onto Razor. Spectre's farming safely. They get no damage onto these towers, and another minute and 15 seconds until daytime again.
Yeah.
They gotta like I think they have to just like focus 2 lanes, Night Stalker ult by one of them, and like set up shop there. Pugna fucking spam it with Nether Blast. Otherwise, they run the risk of this like going on too long and then just getting run over by Funny Zone. And I think we're going in that direction.
Seems like we're once again smoked up on 3. The man who yells very loudly leads the way. Blink ready to go. Looking at Dire Vision, though, they're relatively playing blind. They're walking towards the Roshan pit, though, so perhaps Roshan's in the card soon.
Also, I'm told that I'm slightly too quiet. I need to be louder than everybody, Badger.
I did turn you up on Discord, but that is like the Discord thing. I don't know if it's the same on stream.
I'll just turn you up again. Don't worry. I already turned you up a little tiny nudge, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
people want to hear me more and you guys less, I'm told.
Many people have been saying this. Andy Bendy, there's no way he should die like this. He's big chillin'. He knows about the ward because he lost his Barracuda. He's out of there now. Yeah, he pings it instantly. I think we've been saying that this game is trending towards Funny Zone. Oh, Breeziar is about to die.
Yeah, he's been yelled at once again. Haunt in, correction, Shadow Step in by Ultra Gunner, and the kill goes to the Spectre.
Oh, that's a nice kill to get on Spectre. It's daytime now, yeah. I mean, that's just a good kill. Also, this Nature's Prophet, he got a lot of kills. He has 5 kills. I mean, his team's 20. He has me stealing all of them. But because he has so many kills, he's like relatively farm, and so this is just like a nicer bounty for the Spectre. One good thing though, I mean, Funny Zone looks like they're going to take this Roche pretty easily with the Beastmaster. Is Enough did get this gets this Helm of the Overlord, gets this Helm 2. I'd be surprised if... Okay, Radiant ults to fight this.
Well, the Roshan's already dead, but is there counter kill time? Let's go find out. Breeziar respawns in 3 seconds. They run into Kurdo, who sidesteps the pounce, but he's still inside the brambles. He'll self-disrupt himself. Aurora pops the Ignite onto 2 heroes. It should be a dead Shadow Demon dig on the last hit. They'll now move to Ogre Magi. Ogre Magi TP is cancelled. His life also has been ended. But if it's only 2 subs dead for Roshan, it's a good straight for Funny Zone.
Yep. They can't actually turn this into something though, because the
He's gonna eat
bottom
it.
tower's right here.
Oh, he doesn't. He can eat that one? Yeah, okay, this is what I was going to talk about. The Helm 2 is so counter. I'm
yeah.
kind of surprised he went for this. This Night Stalker shard, this is like a classic counter. He's really going to have to watch out for this in the fights. During nighttime, so when he ults or if it's just natural night, this Night Stalker shard one-shots his...
Oh, Blink Roar, Shadow Step once again. Furion's half HP, 1/3 HP, and gets brought down 100 to 0. Reed will TP away in time. Now in comes Andy Bendy, but he is far from home. The TP will be away in time, but it's again 2 more deaths for basically nothing.
No, overstood their welcome a little bit. I guess it just comes down to the fact that nighttime ended there. And they expended a lot, just like going for that initial kill in Roche. I'm surprised that Funny Zone even tried to take that fight at all after Night Stalker pressed ultimate.
Yeah.
I thought everyone would have just TP'd out, reset.
Yeah, that was good recognition from them. I also was surprised. I thought they were just going to like let the tower die.
Yeah. Sick play there by them. And yeah, I really like what you're saying about the Helm of the Overlord. That completely slipped my mind. But every time that they take a team fight, it's just like a free 200 gold over to Beastmaster. This thing, like, it's very weird because it's like too good to give up, but then it's also just way too good for the Night Stalker for you to be like doing this.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been skipping the Helm. It really depends on the game. I like the Helm 1 a lot, honestly. I see some people go like Helm 1 into Ags. This is something that I've seen enough do also. I think he just likes the summons in this game. Maybe he didn't think about it, or maybe it's fine. One point of note about this interaction is like, sure, he one-shots it, but if you hover the range on this skill, it's abysmal. It's like less than his attack range. It's like 100 cast range. So he really has to be on top of the creep for him to actually eat it. So that's like one thing. If enough, I mean, now he's seen it, and it was even like in a fight where it doesn't actually change anything. The guy just like Reed just ate his creep for 250 gold, which is fine. But now this is something that hopefully enough is thinking about during the fight. And he's going to be like, okay, the Night Stalker ults, where is he? Let me micro my creep away from him so he doesn't eat it for free.
We actually saw it in the last fight too. He tried to resummon by getting a new creep to prevent him from eating the creep, then he's ate the new creep.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the Night Stalker, like 1800 unobstructed vision. This is a good angle that they're coming in on.
Yeah, from the
here.
north side, smoked up, they run into Shadow Demon, who is most certainly now only a shadow. In comes Breeziar TPing towards Ogre Magi. He'll put inside the Sprout. That will be a dead Ogre, no doubt about it. But the cores are on the way away from the fight, and more importantly, all of them but Lefty are alive. Only problem is Lefty almost certainly will die. He's playing in the 1v5, and generally the one will lose that fight, making a 3-for-0. One more big win for Royal Andy.
Yeah, that's great pickups.
Wait.
Also, Slark gets a lot of the last hits.
Looks like he got Lefty alone.
Yeah.
I'll be here all night, everybody.
You know, it's one of those things between me and you, there's going to be a lot of very, very bad puns tonight. And again, obviously the intention is not bad puns, but when you make enough puns, some of them
That's
will
not
be
what
bad.
I heard.
Someone that will end up being bad inevitably.
Oh, they're trying to defend this bottom tower again. Really cool angle by Funny Zone. They TP top to the outpost and then they go through the portal. Get the wraparound.
Here
Slark
we go.
can't be there.
It's good silence from Reed. Delays the roar. Reed's still half HP. He's gonna heal by Sick Nasty. Roar's there on Furion. Furion's still alive for the time being, but Reed is not. Breezyar is being run at by 3. Good terrorize delays the death, but is there a way out for Breezyar? I don't think there is. He's trying to heal himself via the Facet Sprout, but no living, simply death. Now 2 kills for Ultra Gunner. They'll head to Sick Nasty, who will attempt the TP. It will not work. And it will not work. It barely did not work. So once again, now 3 for 0, but it's not going towards the Funny Zone.
All right, someone needs to get this man down from there. All right, he gets himself down. They take that fight, and things start to go more in the way of Funny Zone. I'm looking over at Andy right now on the Slark, going for the Silver Edge. I'm not sure how actually useful this is. Like, I think you come into the fight and you kind of just die. As you walk in, I really think that you need like a BKB or something like that in order to survive coming into these team fights. I don't think you're going to be able to just walk over the Spectre, get the Silver Edge off, and then kill her.
All right, here's the argument. For those who don't know, Andy Bendy is a former League of Legends professional player from NA to EU and back again for those who don't know.
I wouldn't say that any League player is professional, but go on.
But you want to know League of Legends doesn't have a BKB. He's not a big BKB buyer.
It's a very good item in Dota, though.
We see him play it in the bottom lane right now. They've gone for enough. It's a good 2-man silence from Reed to stop both supports and reacting. Beastmaster's once again inside the Sprout. He'll roar towards Sick Nasty. All 300 shots up into the Pugna. Pugna goes down already. Now from the top side, in comes Slark with the double damage rune. He wants to go on Spectre. Spectre is way too tanky. Lefty links Reed. Reed's still fine. Still that 4v5 fight. Keshi goes down. Jake Curto is very low, but so far it is Funny Zone who are winning the war of attrition. Reed will blink away. Enough tries to pursue. That will not be a kill, I do not believe. Though they're still going to hunt for him. They want to kill him. They see the blood in the water. He's just grabbing lotuses. Is that gonna kill him? It might. Okay, he blinks.
That was close.
I think he's still dead though. That's just an incredibly greedy play from Reed.
Is he though?
I think he's out of there. He's too quick.
Yeah.
Never mind. He is indeed very quick.
This is one of the fastest men I've ever seen.
Likewise.
It's balls of steel. It's to channel not 1, but 2 lotuses, knowing there's 3 enemy heroes right next to you.
In fact, he did it you can see that in fog, so he did it like taunting them, you know?
Yeah, you can hear it also.
Yeah. You hear that sound go off, you're like, who the fuck's over there? And you run over, get there, Night Stalker's running away from you, giving you the finger as he goes.
There was a lot of cool interactions in that fight, though. At the start of that fight, when they went with the NS ulti, one thing that we haven't talked about is this NP Ags plus the Night Stalker ulti vision is like extremely devious combo. They started with that, and I was like, oh my god, that sounds so hellish to play against. Like the NS just gives vision of the whole team, and then he ults, and everyone gets hit by. Oh, looks like Reed's going down though.
Yeah, he gets haunted on top lane. I didn't stop saying haunt. It's called Shadow Step now, but he's still dead nonetheless.
You know, everyone says it.
I guess haunt goes from the skill name now to an adjective. He's been haunted by his own mortality. Thanks, Ultra Gunner.
You know what's funny is the flavor text of Shadow Step still like slightly implies that it's the Egg's ability.
With a great focus of will, sometimes limit the extent of her division.
Yeah.
That's reaching. That's reaching.
I think so. I think it almost more implies like a cooldown, you know, like only for 6 seconds on a 150-second cooldown.
My beautiful company would never do something wrong. They'd never mess up something in the game, I'm sure.
Especially not a tooltip.
Yeah.
I mean, at least we get tooltips for that. We got tooltips for Kez, actually. Kez was somebody's baby. You can tell the love that was poured into that hero. And you compare that to Ringmaster, who just kind of like showed up.
Here we go. Andy Bendy goes in for Jay Curto. Meanwhile, they're going in for Sick Nasty on the opposite side of the map. Urge comes in from SD to Slark. Roar is there as well. Step comes in from Ultra to bring down the Slark.
The tip?
Big kill. And they tip him as well. They tip him. I think it's the first tip of the game, so big opening blow by Curto there.
Now it's on. Andy's not going to be pleased about that one. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's going to call a hit out on the Shadow Demon. This guy's going down first in these team fights. You'll see.
Oh, in the team fight, I thought that you meant like.
Oh,
I mean, he does know
I don't
where
think
he
that Andy would
lives.
do something like that.
He's a powerful guy, ex-professional league player. You never know.
It is true.
I'm not familiar with his league
What's
connections.
your
Speaking of hit put out bottom lane, it's Spectre, who's being gone on by 3, but he's just so tanky. He actually brings down the Will before dying. And now in comes Lefty looking to turn the 1-for-1 into perhaps a 2-for-1. Problem is, he's playing Razor and the Radiant FTP scrolls.
That'll
It
happen.
was a nice find. It was probably one of
Yeah.
the last opportunities for them to actually find that and not get that heavily punished for it. Although now,
Yeah, they're just diving into the lower top lane to bring down the Pugna.
Oh, they're on the ward though.
There's a terrorize onto. They want to bring down the SD first, and they most certainly will. But the only hard part is, can they kill the Slark? Wait, can they actually kill with the Slark? Wrong words. Regardless, it is a dead Beastmaster and a dead Shadow Demon. Good counter kills there from Royal Andy.
very nice. Like you're saying, this is like their last opportunity to find something before this next night game really starts to, or next day game really starts to switch over to Funny Zone. So this will give them a little bit of a chance to take control of the map, and I'm pretty sure Nightstalker ult is going to be like off a cooldown by the time Funny Zone is able to occupy the map again. Roche is going to respawn in the next 16 seconds as well. If they move down there, then scout it. Their timing could line up to be just about perfect.
One of those things, though, Royal Andy, there's never stopping the aggression again. The global TP, Nightstalker Slark, this is non-stop action. And we're seeing it again. After failing to kill the Razor, they're now running the Ogre Magi. Pounce will most certainly hit. This should be a dead Aurora. And RIP Big Dave.
That's going to make it that much harder to get a foothold back onto the map after losing a couple of heroes like that. Just staggering deaths like this makes the game miserable, and yeah, it looks like they're making a move down for this bottom Roshan. Breezy is like walking right for this one, so they clear this out. I don't think the Funny Zone's going to be able to contest this one. You'd be fighting into a Nightstalker ultimate by the time you actually have all of your heroes there. Hopefully they go for this and clear it out relatively fast, and I think they're primed to like start taking the last of these hour towers and potentially even go high ground after this one. They'll try to contest, but they'll be late, won't they?
Actually, Roshan
Yeah,
is like
Radiant
full
takes go
HP.
very slow.
Oh, they're
He's
just not
actually full
doing it.
HP.
They have like Slark, Nature's Prophet,
yeah.
Nightstalker. They don't take it too fast. Oh, smoke
Here
pops.
we go. Smoke has broken on both teams. Purge comes in on Slark. Radiant will jump Kurdo, but Kurdo is still fine for the time being. It's a split-up fight right now. The SD is the primary focus. Dire are split. The Roar's blocked by Lincolns. The Roar's and blocked by Lincolns. And now, Slark is still fine. He has gone invis. Breezy TP's away. It will barely not work. And now Reed's forced to BKB. He's on the run. Pugna's in a lot of danger. He's very dead. Double kill for Lefty's Razor with the buyback on SD. It should be Funny Zone who grab Roshan. A good block on Pounce comes in from enough. And now Andy Bendy's in a lot of danger. He'll get brought down as a triple kill for Lefty's Razor. And well, our Radiant Roshan is now turned into a Dire Roshan, and probably Radiant's outer towers who die next.
I mean, the roar getting blocked by Lincoln is a really good thing, but I'm surprised they even opted to try to take that, given it switched over today, and they waited for all these heroes to come back up at the same time. Like, I don't see a world in which that fight actually goes well for them. So much can go wrong in the fight, and you give up Roshan from taking that fight in the area of the map. So, it seemed a little bit short-sighted in my opinion.
Uh-oh.
As is this.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted the hero play, but it just didn't work.
Banner? Anyone?
I'd say it's in the Roshan pit. Eventually somebody will grab it, surely.
They're chasing though. Oh, nice roar.
Yeah,
Yep.
Reed should be dead again.
Was on the ward.
Good word. Whose word is that? That's Aurora's word. Good word from Aurora. Okay, so you're playing Royal Andy. You know the game state's getting much more calcified, and your lineup is Fury on
Calcified?
Clark. What do you
That's a
do
good
here?
word.
Calcified?
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
they're pretty lucky, I think, because I'm pretty sure the best thing they can do is just run it. Like their whole.
You gonna let them use that word and get away with it?
Yeah, well, it's probably right.
It is
He
correct,
used it
yeah.
with confidence. Yeah.
I did use a guy. I own a dictionary. I own 2 dictionaries, Neff.
Okay. I mean,
Explains why you
doesn't-
talk
doesn't
like a
mean that
fucking
much.
nerd.
okay. I like it. I like it. Personal attacks. The what's it called? The good thing for Royal Andy is I think Vash.
Oh, get the fish!
Buzzer
Oh,
beater.
no.
Just do it again though. Imagine. That would have been crazy.
It would have
Yeah,
been.
Royal Indy though, game plan. They don't really get much by like super splitting the map or anything. I think that still the Dire team is just gonna like get more out of the map. They have the Spectre global threat, and they're just like stronger in fights in general. So I think they do kind of have to like take fights.
That's the Abyssal Blade
Which is
done, yeah.
good. Because I think like in general their MO has been just running for fights. They just like try to take a lot of fights and then they'll try to outplay people in like their positioning and how they approach fights. And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of what they need to do here also.
I don't know. The fact that they haven't like turned it into anything, which is the main reason I liked their draft. I thought that I did prefer Funny Zone's draft, but the main reason why I actually liked what they had going on here, because it felt like they could take towers and threaten high ground really early with like Vision, Nether Blast, like kind of pick off potential huge DPS from your supports and like Treants from Nature's Prophet, but they really weren't doing that. They were like finding people and then getting back, and like going in like way past the creep wave, finding somebody else, and then getting back again.
Yeah, we're at the point now where this game state just keeps getting a little bit more difficult. Again, the pickup potential of the Abyssal Blade on Spectre especially, it's just there. Are we going high ground?
Yeah, I mean, at this point it's pretty like I'm sure if you found like Spectre games that like went past 35 minutes, I'm sure his win rate is like really high. Pretty hard for Radiant to be able to eke a win out now. But I mean, I've seen them win crazier games, honestly.
Looks like they're gonna trade.
It's definitely a win so far for Funny Though. They've taken an entire set of racks, though in exchange they almost lost a half racks. In come the TPs away. Keshi barely gets away. Enough tried to roar and get the AoE to cancel that interaction there, but did not work out for enough there.
I liked it, but now he looks foolish for it not working. You know, nice job of rolling the creep. Am I right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he was too far.
Yeah.
Could he have perhaps moved the other unit a couple units to the left or right for the roar to hit, or you know?
I guess it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, he just had to walk. They had to walk like more to the left, but it's hard to know. I mean, you run it anyways. It doesn't matter. Roar's gonna be up for the next fight.
If he's a little bit to the lefty, it would have been enough.
You just made that joke. Come on, brother.
Yeah.
I included another name that time, though. Come on.
That's fair. That's fair. So we have a game state problem on our hands for Royal Envy. Is it just, again, do you make like a rapier on Slark as you're all in play, or I don't even know anymore. What do you do here?
No, I mean there isn't really a good all in play because it's not like they're like throning right. Anyways, they just need to like win a fight, which they have the tools to. They're just not favored. They do have to do some finesse, outplay them a little bit.
I'm not crazy about the idea of going a rapier or anything like that as well, because if you take a fight with Slark like straight into the funny zone, you kind of just die.
The problem is they're just dying right now anyways. Reed BKB'd in time, but we're just running on forward. Ascension comes in from the Night Stalker. It could be a good escape if they can get away on all five. Is there probably even a turnaround? Andy, when he looks through the angle right now, Aegis has expired. He's broken Spectre. This could be the chance. Is there a comeback fight? It appears to be no. Slark's running away on half HP. They've purged the Pugna. Pugna will get saved by Terrorized temporarily, but still gets brought down by Enough's Beastmaster. Somehow only one hero dies. Good save to keep the Reed Night Stalker alive. But again, the bleeding continues. And Royal Andy's chances get that much worse.
Yeah, it was an okay start to the fight, but like even still, it's a bit tough. I think starting on the Spectre like that's too hard. Probably one of your heroes is gonna die for a good fight for Royal Andy, but you need to like run up the subs anyways.
I'm just concerned. It seems like it's impossible, like catch-22, where you have to farm the map and get these pickoff kills, but when you try to go for these positionings to do that, you just continuously chain feed the Spectre Beastmaster.
Yeah. I mean, they were supposed to win earlier, right? Like, they had a pretty unreasonable early game lead that they should convert, but they weren't able to. So, I think, I mean, they made their bed, so...
Like, they're going for a butterfly in the Spectre, so at that point the Slark's going to have a really bad time trying to kill her, even with the Silver Edge. I'm not really sure what he does at that point. I mean, finishing this Bloodthorn could be something, but then Spectre just hold on to the Manta Style in order to dispel that. And then that plan just kind of goes to shit as well. And yeah, he's got the money for it at this point. Almost level 25 as well. His profit finishes up a sheep stick, but at this point, you know, we're still late in the game. I don't think that we're really going to find that many like solo kills on the Spectre at this point. I think they're pretty comfortable just walking around almost as 5 at on Funny Zone. Or at least reacting incredibly quickly to any time that she is alone, like right now. I imagine that Nuffis wants to play a little bit closer to her.
That's the other thing. Luckily, Hex is a very good item. If this game goes, you know, another 10, 20 minutes, the Hex will absolutely have value no matter what sort of scenarios. And even if it's either pick off or a straight value 5.
Yeah, Hex is a good item. I do, and it might have been the best item for Nature's Prophet to go for in this game, because I really do worry about what his impact is going to look like going forward. He's very far from 25. I'd say like 4.5 levels away from 25 is pretty concerning, and he's not really going to scale the same way like on traditional Nature's Prophet, where you're like buying a lot of right-click items. 25 ends up being like plus 500 damage to your hero, just because of how it works with the like big treant and the innate. I don't know if it's gonna.
Everyone's coming in on. Oh, you hate
Yeah,
to
it's a
see. I mean,
huge
he figured
ward.
that out. He knew that was there, but I guess he just didn't figure that everyone would react to him being up there so quickly.
That's tough.
I mean, it is technically a trade hero for that ancient black dragon, but that's not a good trade.
Yeah.
It's a pretty powerful dragon.
It's also a pretty powerful Slark, though.
All right, so Spectre already has the Radiance Butterfly is done and probably going to be on the way. So you have like almost 50% evasion in these fights. You're not even close to like an MKB on anybody. Spectre's just going to feel borderline invincible when she's in there. I'm pretty sure the game ends with the next Roshan. That's what it's looking like, anyways. Yeah, you're hitting all these like super crucial times. You just finished Satanic, you have Refresher Orb on the Razor. He might have mana problems. His team would probably have to help him out with that, but he only has one set of Arcane Boots just on the Shadow Demon. Anyway, unimportant. They're sieging high ground right now.
Ag's Willow finished, but no attack speed items.
You got Ancient Guardian, but yeah, no attack speed items. It's still, this is gonna hurt.
Yeah, he did have to watch out for it with both Shadow Realm talents now also. Yeah, one interaction that I mentioned during the draft but forgot to talk about was this idea of shared vision. There's 2 spells in this game that give shared vision: Spectral Dagger and Static Link. I think the Dive Bomb might also, but that's kind of hard to use. Oh wait.
Speaking of Dive Bomb, they're going in for the man who brings it. Problem is he's TPing with BKB and there's just no cancel.
Yeah, okay, so back about my nerd shit. Shared vision. If you like cast Spectral Dagger or Razor Link on a hero, when it hits the hero, you get their vision. So whatever vision they have, your team can see also. And normally it isn't that big of a deal because most heroes have like pretty similar vision. But against Night Stalker in particular, it's like a really, really good thing to have. And it's one reason that some people actually picked like Silencer back in the day when he had Old Last-Word, is because that's what gave shared vision. And so you could use it on the Night Stalker and you just like have the Night Stalker vision in the fights. So Funny Zone in this game, like one thing, they've been using it sometimes, but they haven't prioritized it super high, is the Spectre can just like dagger the Night Stalker. Or like the Razor can just like link the Night Stalker at the start of the fight and they just get the Night Stalker vision, which is his biggest strength as a hero.
Very good. This applied to everything.
Top lane, 100-0 perhaps, and there it is.
Yeah.
Blink Hex into Roar, into Haunt Abyssal Blade. That's a lot of damage, guys.
Yeah, I was concerned about the Slark just like dying when he enters the fights, but now he's just like dying in random parts of the map every time he shows. Like, I don't know what item you get to survive this.
Yeah.
Aeon Disc.
Shard.
But Aeon Disc on Slark is like...
No, on this, yeah. If anything, he needs a Lincoln, but he's like so far. Also, I'd say the lack of shard is like very concerning. Oh, Nuff's gonna kill a lone Pugna. Take the creep.
Yeah, he's dead. But more importantly than Pugna dying, Roshan is dying. That's a lot of goodies in the Roshan pit here. Aegis, Banner, Shard, and Cheese. And maybe even the last banner. I'm not entirely sure, but... Yeah, there's also blast banner in there. So they get 5 items, get the extra secondary banner. So.
Go
Need
drop
your
that salve or the fucking arcane ring. I don't
Oh,
care which one.
Oh
down.
no, Breezy's so dead again. He had a good attempt there too with the Hex TP play, but it did not work out for him there.
I hate to see it.
The Hawks are too staggered.
Yeah. So now you're just bleeding kills all over the map. They're up 18k net worth at this point. Everybody feels borderline invincible. You've got 2 refreshers on Razor. He's holding cheese. Spectre is like a one-man army at this point, and is going for Aghanim Scepter to actually become an army. I don't see a way out from here.
Yeah, I also don't think so. Oh, yeah,
Well, here we go again. Reed goes down. Keshi tried for the save, but there just wasn't enough HP on the Night Stalker.
There's one thing you could try to do in this situation, if you're on Royal Andy, is like try to do some like ultra cheesy, like lane cutting, backdooring tier 3 stuff. But the 2 tier 2s are still standing in top and bottom lane, so that makes that even harder.
Yeah, that Spectre also. And you have one
Yeah.
Lincoln Spear on the Nature Prophet, so it's like if the non-Lincoln's heroes try to do that, then they'll just get haunted and killed. And if the Lincoln's guy does it, then like any +1 will kill him.
Well, he's yelling at the opponents again. Enough has roared and brought down the sick, nasty Pugna, and seems like we're headed to game 2 relatively soon. Haunt and by Ultra brings down Keshi. Both Radiant stops buyback, but there's still another Night Stalker for 35 more seconds. This should be bot racks. This should be mid racks. This probably should be the game in the next 5 minutes or so, if not even less than that.
Is that a refresher I heard?
You did.
Who used it?
Enough, I
Did
think.
Razor use the shard?
Yeah, I think it was a shard on Razor.
No, that's because look, his refresher orb is off cooldown. So
How the hell he used it?
enough. Beastmaster.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can't have shard and orb now. The cooldowns are
Yeah.
cooldowns are the same.
Well, here we go again. Slark tries for a play, runs into a brick wall. The brick wall once again moves forward. In comes the Pugna Ward. Down goes the Pugna Ward very soon. Spectre's being gone on. Reed BKB, but once again a roar from enough. Slark goes in for the Ogre Magi. Night Stalker is very low. Ogre Magi is very low. Still nobody's dying. They're focusing the Ogre Magi as Razor brings down the Night Stalker. Once again, the Ghost Scepter saves Big Dave's Ogre Magi as Breezy Arthur gets stole at his fountain. Enough wants this kill. The Sprout does not save him. Double kill for Lefty. Once again, they're running all the way into the fountain. The fountain's trying to fight back, but it is not working. Triple kill for Lefty, and the GG is called. Game 1 will go to Funny Zone, and now Royal Andy are down 1-0 in the best of 5.
Yeah. Not that surprising. We did talk about how Funny Zone draft seemed a little bit better, but you also said that they kind of made their bed logical. They didn't really press their advantage enough, I feel like, and I think that just came from the lack of focusing on towers. Just kind of running around without enough of a game plan, in my opinion. You might have a different take.
Yeah, I think so. Also, I think they really they really owned the Spectre, but I think they kind of needed to tank up a lot more on their heroes and just kind of like farm the other side of the map. I think the biggest thing was clearly they outplayed the early game very hard, and they set their draft up to win the early game very hard, but they lacked like a lot of technique in like making their advantage bigger. And I think that's something that they'll need to address into game 2 because I mean, the early game was literally ideal. 5k gold lead at minute 9. I keep bringing this up is like unreasonable. Even so much so that I think Funny Zone shouldn't really be that happy with this game 1. I think they kind of fluked in this game. They got pretty lucky that Royal Andy just like wasn't prepared with their lead. And so I think Royal Andy, if you can go back to the drawing board, you're like, yeah, we kind of threw this game, but if we just do like X and Y different, then the game will be a big win. And I think Funny Zone might mix up the draft a little bit. I wouldn't be too surprised to see them prioritize the Night Stalker ban a little bit more because I feel like honestly the Night Stalker like carried this game. He carried the early game. He gunned the Spectre down. He made the fights a lot easier. I feel like Reed had crazy impact on Night Stalker in this game.
Yeah, I was happy to see it. Again, the only thing I didn't like is lack of focusing on objectives and taking control of the map. Maybe a little bit too much on Ultra Gunner when his game was already shut down pretty hard. So they changed a couple of things. I think that Funny Zone of the work cut out for them in these next couple of games here.
Agreed.
All right, on that note, we're going to cut to a very quick break between Game 1 and Game 2. My name is Badger. I am joined by Logical and Neff, and we'll see you for Game 2 of Royal Andy Funny Zone. And I don't know, probably about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. See you soon. Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. It is I, Badger, back for game number 2 of League of Legends season number 16 Grand Finals. If you missed game 1, it was a pretty fun game between the Funny Zone and Royal Andy, but once again, running it on back. Royal Andy once again reprising the role of the Radiant team, Funny Zone, the Dire team, and I'm once again joined by the same two kill commentators. It is Logical, and it is Neff. How you two guys doing?
Doing good.
He said your name first. I know you were pausing away from him because you're a polite guy, Logical. But
Mhm.
I come second, unfortunately. In this scenario, anyway. One thing I wanted to ask about: you were saying this at the beginning of last match. In these lads tournaments, the meta is somewhat similar to pro matches that people watch, but a little bit different in the way that people have these specialty heroes that they play. Earth
Mhm.
Spirit's been banned out 2 games in a row, and as an Earth Spirit spammer myself, I want to know the story behind this one.
It's a Breezy R hero that he's like level 30 on it, and that's just been his hero for a long time. It was that and Puck. I think he kind of doesn't play that much Puck anymore, so it's mostly Earth Spirit now. That's his like go-to.
Let's see. So shut him down. He's just not able to play with anything other than the one trick that he did, as we saw in the last game, right?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, he plays some like weird heroes, but like Earth Spirit, I think this hero in general, I think is still really strong. It got a huge nerf, but still
Yeah.
just like the vision giving capability and like the damage and the laning. This hero, like all in all, I think is like too strong. So still, it has been makes a lot of sense to me.
I think he's pretty good. I was enjoying it before he nerfed. Yeah, he got nerfed though. Still on. I'm on like a 2,000 MMR climb recently with him. You love to see it. I've been on my training arc. Lifting rocks. You know how it
Yeah,
is. Yeah. That's another hero that's been really popular right now. I think that the Agent of Scepter feels too strong, and I'm not exactly sure why on Vengeful Spirit. It just feels like the hero's able to get farmed way too easily. Like you just shut down Avenge, you look over at her all of a sudden, she gets like 1 or 2 kills, and she just has an Agent of Scepter completed, and she's able to just run straight into the enemy, like swap somebody out or throw a stun without really caring about dying. I'm not a fan. It's like playing against Armor Lock and Halo Reach.
yeah. I think Avenge is kind
Yeah,
of
you
interesting.
understand that reference, I'm sure.
Of course, yeah. You know me. I'm
Yeah.
50 years old.
Yeah.
This is Venturo. They picked it a little bit on Royal Andy, but in general, this is kind of surprising. I have we haven't seen it that much in lads. I think sometimes it can be really annoying to like sometimes, especially on off lane, it can set up like these really hard to win game states where like their
Mhm.
carry is really annoying. And then also they have like some mid like disruption hero. And then it's like who do you jump? And it becomes really annoying because the Venge will like save anyone that you go on. And it's hard to like take a straight up fight into their strong carry, but then also if you try to kill the Venge, then she's gonna Ags respawn, and you like didn't really accomplish enough to kill her twice.
Yeah, spells are on cooldown. All of a sudden, you're at a disadvantage if the enemy tries to take a fight, depending on what heroes you picked, and it just feels awful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like them going for the Razor again alongside the Centaur War Runner. I think Razor's just like a solid pick no matter what. He almost like always he consistently does huge damage. He's able to run at heroes. Feels pretty good. The Centaur War Runner, I also don't really think was nerfed enough. The fact that you can just go like 3 bracers as a starting build and have as much movement speed as other heroes and just be able to zone people out of lane feels a little bit overtuned. At the very least, they nerfed bracers at 25 minutes recently, so you can't just like continue to use them as the game goes on. Uh, but this is a very powerful opener here on the side of Funny Zone, and Shadow Demon, of course, is like one of the strongest supports right now. So we'll see how they react. But at the moment, it looks like they're mind flayed. They lost the last game. They're playing against similar heroes this time around, and they're running out of reserve time here.
Yeah, they go for the Spectre now, which he might have some problems in the lane. I was checking Royal Indy the last time they played Venge, and they played at 5. So they have a different 5 player now, but they pretty much like copied this exact draft. They had 9 pick Rubik and then 13 pick Venge.
Mm-hmm.
And in this game, they have 9 pick Rubik and 13 pick Venge. So I think there's a good chance that that's their support duo.
Yep.
And if that's the case, then they're going to have this Vengeful Spirit Spectre lane, which is like also incredibly weak.
I am a little concerned that they're missing Fox because Fox really was sort of the counterbalance to all this up tempo energy. She played these safe heroes, Oracle, Venge Spirit, all the sort of thing, and we just don't have that tonight. We have like a normal player and not like the ultra safe player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some of her Oracle this other time that I cast. It was pretty good. Like she was Grandmaster or Master on it or something.
Yeah, that's the hero that she's been playing for a while. I think in this season specifically, she played a lot of Wyvern to the point where it started getting first phase banned. But obviously not too pertinent in this series where she's not here.
Mhm.
Spectre Quap picks, it's kind of interesting. I mean, the Quap makes a lot of sense. You know, it's going to be Razor mid. It's not going to be Razor safe lane really. Spectre though, I'm a little bit concerned about because I feel like Andy should want to do a lot, and I don't know how much agency he's going to have over the game when his like lane is probably going to go bad.
Yeah, Vengeful Spirit and Rubik aren't like super oppressive or powerful support picks, and when you're laning into a Centaur Warrunner who is a very powerful laner, it's going to be pretty difficult. And that's going to be a hero that you don't have the damage to get through. Queen of Pain's never going to be able to blow up the Medusa, and she wants to like jump in, kill somebody in one volley, and then get out. I'm not going to be able to do that to Medusa, and these supports are kind of like too low damage to be able to do that as well. Only time you're going to be able to get her, I think, is you catch her out by herself. So I actually like the Medusa pick here, even though I normally find it boring as hell and too slow to play. I think it's okay here.
Yeah, I think it's really nice. The Dire Draft already had a lot going for it. Also, it had like good tempo. The fights are really easy with like a Stampede Razor, and you have a stun already. The SD's a nice save, so I think he just needs to be like a tanky hero that can farm, and that's exactly what Medusa will give. The laning is also very solid on this hero, so he won't get like super run over even against counter pick.
Yeah. They're trying to get rid of the counter picks right now. They get rid of the anti-mage. It's just, I guess you're just worried about that one regardless. You could potentially even like play that mid if you have to, and like switch the Quap over to offlane or some shit like that, just because it owns the Medusa that hard. But is there anything else that you're super worried about here in the Medusa matchup?
No, not really. AM is definitely the big one. I'm gonna go look at the hero list real fast.
Um,
They do need an offlaner, as you're saying. And Reed has like a large pool, but I mean he's like a jack of all trades, master of none. I would say he only has like a couple heroes that are like really trying to worry about. So for this Dusa pick, I mean he'll probably just pick whatever he feels like. But I don't think there's anything that's like super obnoxious. Maybe like Underlord could be something that like does well in the lane, and then
Builds Heaven's Halberd or something.
yeah, and I think the pit will be nice also for Stampede. And the Underlord Q though, it's pretty bad versus Medusa. I'll admit. I think the lane is still good. You just like out damage her by a lot, and she reduces her own damage with split shot, and then you reduce her damage even more with the oh god, what's that aura called?
Atrophy aura.
Atrophy
That's the
aura.
one.
Yeah, you buy atrophy aura, or you get atrophy aura. Sometimes you can buy Crimson Guard. That'd be my guess.
That's crazy. Oh no, I guess they just. Sorry, I thought Royal Andy picked that one, and I was like, "What
That's
the
okay.
hell am I seeing here?"
Take
That's a
advantage,
fine
right?
pick.
The deuce of down. Yeah.
Could be a block pick. Make sure that Royal Andy don't grab it.
I don't think that they would. I think the draft just kind of falls apart if they grab the lion here.
Yeah, Royal Indy, they need a melee hero, like 100%. If they pick a melee hero, I think it's 2-0 pretty easily. Or if they don't pick a melee hero, I think it's 2-0 pretty easily. Preferably a strength hero for Reed also. Some heroes that he's liked in the past are like Primal Beast. It's pretty bad versus Shadow Demon though, so maybe don't go for that here. There is Night Stalker still in the pool, which honestly I think might be one of their better bets. But
Does he play
they would be
strength
low.
mids other than the Earth Spirit?
He plays Primal Beast mid as well, so they can. The problem is that that's also a mid hero. So
Yeah, well, the Primal Beast Razor lane is kind of so-so, and I mean, playing versus SD is really bad. Like you just get ulted the whole game. You can never get the Q off.
Let's see,
mm,
how about Doom? Or sorry, not Doom. Brewmaster.
it's banned.
Oh, banned.
You know, it's funny. Reed's one of the better Brewmaster players in last history. Traditionally, he played it for support, but it was nasty. It was really, really nasty. So, understandably, they respect banning it.
Yeah.
Well, you did call it. The Underlord has been selected. I am still concerned about the damage versus Dusa, but at this point, what is. Look at the drafts. Where do you guys lean? If you guys want to see I'm leaning Final Zone?
Yeah. I think they don't have a
Yeah,
great
same.
answer for Ultra Gunner. Killing him is going to be difficult if you dive him under towers. They have great ways of punishing it. The the pit is like okay, but I think that you don't blow up any of these core heroes. Razor, Centaur, and Medusa, all very difficult for Queen of Pain to play against. She was nerfed recently, and your support duo is like too weak to kind of snowball out of lanes on Royal Andy. But I could be wrong. We'll see.
Actually,
Yeah,
I'm seeing a way to kill Medusa, but it's not going to be easy and it's not going to be pretty. Like Manta Diffusal Spectre, Dagon Quap, Dagon Rubik. It's not pretty, but it might work.
Yeah, I don't know. The Queen of Pain like it has to build Dagon these days because Masochist you end up like blowing yourself up too quickly with your spell damage, and Masochist if you don't have any spell lifesteal, it also just like pairs very well with it. Your Dagon does a bunch of bonus spell damage.
yeah.
But yeah, if you're not blowing up heroes, which you're not going to be able to do to either like Centaur or Medusa, then the Queen of Pain feels a lot weaker. But maybe she pops off. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean the Quap has been a sturdy hero in general this season. I feel like a lot of teams have picked it as early as like literally first overall pick because they just feel like
Mhm.
this hero can like rotate really well and it scales well. I agree. It has a few bad matchups, but like you can still kind of target the supports. And I think that the main reason they picked it is just you can always blink away from the static link. You're never gonna get static linked at any point of the lane. And it's just like a breezy R type hero that you can like go fast on, do a lot of damage.
Yep. Centaur is going to be a pretty big problem. I feel. Who's the is landing into Centaur? It's just going to it's Sick Nasty, right? Yeah, Sick Nasty and Andy, which I don't think is going to go great for them. I mean, Wave of Terror is decent into the Centaur because you got to punish him for having like very little armor. So you're doing like just bonus physical damage from him having negative. He doesn't build any armor items. You can start with Ring of Protection just to negate that a little bit, but still, he'll take a lot of right click damage at the very beginning. But it's like you said, they're kind of weak together. You'd like somebody who's a little bit better at clicking and like trading with heroes than Spectre is.